And we are back with another video, and this time we are onto the hallway. But before we can get onto the hallway, we have to pry off some tiles that were not tiles, vinyl that are glued down in a kitchen around 15 years ago. And this was a bit of a mission, and yeah, peeling off these adhesive vinyls was not fun. Although I did start off by doing it by hand and doing the same by hand in the kitchen, I eventually did buy a tool that I use with a hammer drill, but you will see that in a few later videos, which will be for the kitchen. But for the whole of the bathroom, I hand did it, which took me a long time. And but back to the video, I'm just filling in some of the side panels and touching up the wallpaper, because before I conceal the wallpaper with some flooring, it's just good to have it nice and tidy. And here, just filling in some scratch marks just with some glue for the wallpaper, because to be honest, I don't really know what I want with the walls. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the wallpaper. Just cleaning them up a bit will do me good, I think. There's no need to remove all the wallpaper and paint it. The wallpaper's fine. I'm not very picky with the walls. Besides, I like to cover up the walls with things anyway, like mirrors or like maybe a painting or a frame. But yeah, filling them in and learning how to just repair wallpaper is really saving me a bunch of time, rather than redoing the whole of a section of a wallpaper. Just cutting them out nice square holes, or just repairing what I can with just some bits that are sticking out. It just makes it so much easier. Actually, this area that I'm prying off, not this one, the one before, that's on a side panel just underneath this, I think I'm gonna cut this out later on. I haven't done so yet, but as there's another panel on the other side, I think I'm gonna make it white. But yeah, in the kitchen we are, and you can see that the bottom of that is a bit rough. We will do that later. But for now, time to cut out the bottom of this door frame with the Makita multi-tool and a crappy attachment that I got before I got my good ones. So yeah, this was again a nightmare, but I eventually got there. This took me a while to pry out, but yeah. And using a spare cutoff to get this tool aligned with the bottom really helped me out cutting it straight and flush. So although I'm going under with this board, I did cut out some of the bit that's going under it, just to make sure there's no bits underneath that I couldn't get out with the multi-tool. So as you can see, I'm not cutting it fully, and then cleaning off the marker pen with the isopropyl alcohol. And you can see here I got some of the board chipped, which I will fix by some super glue and some sandpaper. But before that, let's just finish cutting out this plank that's going to go against the very first wall. So yeah, this is actually going to be a bit awkward because I can only slide one of the panels under. I can't slide both of them. So I think what I did was I cut off the lip that goes under the paneling, if that's the way you want to call it. So you can see one of them is slid under and the other one I slid on top. Now here is what I had to fill in, and that is the two chips that I will super glue in before I finalize the position of the flooring piece. So a bit of super glue first, and using tiny pincers because I don't want to get my fingers super glued, even though I did get them super glued, but this helped me with getting them in the exact position. And once it was in the correct place, you won't even be able to see that this happened. You will see, guys. It does look like I'm struggling a bit, but I'll get there in the end, I promise you guys. Let's fast forward this because this was a bit of a struggle actually. There we go. Now that it's in correct position, I can actually put some super glue on the other side that I did have to cut. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to have slid under that whole long width of the plank. And then I'll fill in any imperfections with some sawdust of a panel of the SPC layer, of the very top layer on top. And I am applying a bit of super glue here because I did have to cut off that lip, if that's the right term, that actually would slot in. Because I can't bend this in the way that I usually do, I needed to slide it like I'm sliding it now. And I had to be working quick here because super glue dries fast with this. Yeah, this was a bit nerve-wracking. But there we go, we've got a good fit. And then let's push it into place. So I was getting a bit nervous here. And back onto the chip area. Just making sure that it's snug. And just pushing it in a bit further before I start with the sanding. Because when we do sand, we're just sanding the clear coat that is on top of these flooring panels. And some IPA before I wipe down the super glue. And here you can see we've got another little chip, and you can see some of the side paneling that is not side paneling, some of the paneling that hasn't met together very nicely. So super glue first, and then the sawdust of the very top of a plank that I sanded. And another area here, this is where I cut it flush. I don't like that you can see them joints, so I'm just going to fill it in with super glue, and then the sawdust that I sanded down of a top layer of one of the spare cut-offs that I didn't use. And although it looks very white right now, once it's washed down with IPA, and you're standing up far away from it, you won't see it at all. So yes, you can obviously see it now, but yeah, it'll be no problem once you're standing far away from it. And you can see, as I'm standing up, it's going to get better and better. Although near the door frame, it still looks a bit apparent at the moment, but it'll get better. And this is quite of a drastic area that did not look nice at all, so this needed a lot of work. But the same procedure, super glue and sawdust and quite a bit of sanding. And I'm not too bothered about the sanding because, as I mentioned, I'm sanding the top layer of the SPC coating. And now I have to pry off some of the bedroom and kitchen. No, that's not the kitchen, that is the bathroom. And have to remove the skirting or RGB strip that I used as a skirting, because if I want to complete the hallway, I have to start with the bedroom. So let's get into removing the old paneling that was put in like around 15 years ago, and remove the ugly thresholds that I made. Well, they weren't ugly when they started off, but they became ugly after I put in the JB Weld, and I decided never to paint them because I thought, fuck, if I put paint on, one day the paint is going to chip. Not one day, very quickly. And you can see I had loads and loads of underlayer under each of these floorboards, which actually accumulated to like 1 centimeter in total of like height of these floorboards plus underlay. There is a bit of a problem that I found. Look at that. I wonder if this will be very noticeable with the floor. So yeah, going on about that, that was a bit of a worry to me, that concrete break. because I was wondering if I put the flooring down all across, is it going to be noticeable? Now, it's only noticeable to me because I know it's there. So when I'm walking maybe on it, all across the bedroom, I do feel it, but that is because I know of it. If you guys don't know it, you won't notice it really. So you will see I'll get there in the end as well, and that concrete break, slight lift, is no problem at all.